Hello, my name is Zoe Takunda Mungu, and I'm a junior. Currently, I'm doing a self-design major within the engineering department, so I'll be studying biomedical engineering and management. An advice that I would give to y'all looking to build your applications and resumes and portfolios is really make sure you have a strong narrative, as in you have a story of who you are and what you want to present to the world and what you bring to the world. Because what an admissions officer is really going to make the decision on is a story. There's going to be so many people who have better stats than you or worse stats than you, but like what makes the difference is the story. So really honing in on your personal narrative piece, as well as any extracurriculars, like how do those tie into who you are. Your letter of recommendations can also do this, and your stats are important in terms of test scores and grades, but they're one piece of the story. So really just make sure you have a good idea, a strong, robust idea of what that would be for you.
My name is Ima Christian. My major is STS. My advice to incoming freshmen or people applying to Stanford would be to be, honest about what you care about. I wouldn't say, focus on doing too many things or like making it a point that you do so many things, but be intentional about what you're passionate about and really describe that in detail and like how you would plan on further pursuing those passions once you come to Stanford.
My name is Brian. My biggest advice to current applicants who hope to get into Stanford is more or less like know yourself, and I'm saying this in a sense of like, you know your strengths and you know what your weaknesses are. You want to submit a very, very good essay. I always tell people, like, at the end of the day, if your application doesn't blow you away, it's not going to blow the admission officers away. And so you want to present and package yourself in such a way that, say if your SAT scores aren't that great, you want your essay to be excellent. If your essay isn't great, you want your figures, your GPA, your numbers to be excellent, or your extracurriculars to really, really blow people up. I don't think there's any set criteria for getting into Stanford. You just have to be excellent in as many fields as possible. And so you want to be excellent in your essays, in your GPA, in your academic test scores like the SATs or the ACTs, or in your recommendations, in your extracurriculars, and it just has to seem very, very well thought through and very well like presented.
Hello, my name is Ibish.
Okay, and what is your biggest advice to get into school at Stanford?
I feel like you just have to be active prior to coming to Stanford, because Stanford or just admissions office is always looking for people who are creative, willing to try out new things, and I feel like a lot of those attitudes or qualities are represented in extracurricular activities that you do in high school. So just be proactive, but also do stuff that you love, so it doesn't feel like, oh, you're being proactive because of the sake of the, admission process. You're just being proactive because you actually want to change stuff, steer stuff around.
Hi, my name is Chiamaka Gali. I'm a senior majoring in medical anthropology. So my biggest advice for applying to Stanford would be, when you're writing your applications, be as authentic as possible. Don't try to follow like the formula of whatever like maybe your college advisor gave you or other people. Like if you really feel passionate about something, it will like show, and therefore your application will seem a whole lot better than if you try to be more quirky than you are, or like, just quiet parts of yourself.
Okay, my biggest advice for kids who are applying right now would be try to find your passion and try to express that passion through your essays, because I think most admission officers want passionate kids, quote unquote, but if you try to write your essays, represent your passion in those essays, I think it will make more sense to the admission officers, and I think it will make you stand out. Otherwise, because grades, everybody has good grades, and just want that unique perspective of yours and let it shine through your application essays.
So my biggest advice for getting into Stanford is, one, just be yourself through your application and really show that through your application. Think about the things that you've done, in high school and stuff like that, and the main things that really impacted you, put that in, your essay, include that in your personal essay. I think for me, I I went through a lot of stuff growing up, so I kind of used that to kind of show my journey through my essay, and I think that's one of the reasons why they picked me. But yeah, so that's what I would say.
Hi everyone, my name is Dumi Sile and I'm a sophomore here at Stanford. I'll probably be studying public policy. And my advice to someone who wants to apply to Stanford is to take advantage of your personal experiences that you've had in your life and not to look down on them. I was applying from Zimbabwe. I grew up in Zimbabwe and I had this idea that I had to write like a super cool essay about like some super huge contest that I'd won that had to do with research or something fancy like that. But I found that being authentic and writing about my struggles as someone growing up in a low-income household in Zimbabwe and all sorts of ways that I surpassed the obstacles in front of me in order to make things work for me actually helped a great deal in my application.
I'm Asrata Lemu. I'm majoring in human biology. The biggest advice I have for y'all, if you want to get into Stanford, honestly, is to start writing your essay early. This is not so that you can get it right grammatically or, you know, nothing like that, but just so you have enough time to like think through it so you can really tell the story you want to tell and the story that really represents you.
My name is Gawain Calvin. I am a sophomore majoring in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology and also African and African American studies. I am an immigrant from Jamaica and I moved to the United States in 2013. My biggest advice for you is do not, and I repeat, do not let your school or people around you stress you out about the statistics. You go into your ACT, SAT, do the best that you can do on the exams. You know, you put your 100, you get your score back. If you think that you have time and there's room for improvement, go on and try again. But also remember that a lot of times they have these statistics that I learned from a program that I participated in, that the second time you take your ACT score, you might increase at most by 2 points. So if you really think that you have a wide room for improvement and there's things that you can do, go ahead and try again, but don't let those scores stress you out. Just do the best that you can do. Participate in extracurriculars that matter to you. Do not try to do 1 million things because you think you'll look good for Stanford. Do not do that. You only get a certain amount of activities that you can write, I think about 8 on the Common App. So if you do like 12, you can't put out 12 on there. You'll only get that set amount. Do things that matter to you, things that you love, things that you can write about, and things that, you know, if someone asks you about it and why you're passionate about it, that you'll be able to sustain a good conversation about what you did. And also, I would say, the next thing is pay attention to your essays. Those are the most important ones. And don't write about academics for every single essay. For example, there's this what matters to you and why. So if you talked about education in another essay, in this essay, don't talk about that. For example, I spoke about my interest in health, the health disparities in America. Write about that if that's something you're interested in. But don't write about, oh, I like education and education. You got to diversify your information and make yourself stand out as a great applicant.
All right, thank you.